What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the Racerred channel. Haven't been riding the last couple days. I've been up in the mountains in Oregon teaching a little self-defense class and hanging out with my daughter today. I went over to Dick's Sporting Goods today to do a bake sale for her softball team. If you guys want to show up, it's going to be there tomorrow, Sunday, from noon to 4 p.m. They're going to be selling baked goods at Dick's Sporting Goods in Nampa from noon to 4 p.m. There's all kinds of stuff you can buy. They take donations, and they also will sell you some delicious brownies and all kinds of stuff. So don't miss out, guys. You got to show up. I might be there as well. I don't know yet. I'll be there at least for a little bit, but I don't know for how long. Today I was making sure they didn't get mugged, but I'm not sure if I can do that tomorrow. Out here riding the 2008 Yamaha R1, and it is a scorcher today, which I'm always thankful for. I will rarely complain about this kind of weather. The Husqvarna T250 is having trouble. I thought it was just bad gas, but not the case. I actually put fresh gas in it and flushed the whole system, and it still runs horrible. And it runs really bad right before it hits top end, so I don't know what the deal is. Jetting has not changed. Basically nothing has changed. I looked at the stator last night. The plug is pretty wet, but I don't think it's running rich. So my theory was that it's getting intermittent spark. But I put a brand new spark plug in it. I'm kind of at a loss right now, but I'll keep troubleshooting it. When I got my insurance, I had that Safe Driver app, because they'll give you a pretty big discount if you're a safe driver. And I was thinking, well, I'm a pretty good driver. Like, I don't try to do anything crazy when I'm in four-wheeled vehicles. And it recorded me when I was on my R1 going up through the canyons. And it's like, you're a crazy person. What are you doing? It thought that my Toyota Prius had a V10 twin turbo in it or something. And needless to say, the app said that I'm a crazy driver, and I'm pretty sure they raised my insurance. Working on vehicles constantly, that's what I've been up to. So if I've been a little bit quiet, that's why. I finally got my F-150 squared away. Finally. Just want to get rid of it at this point. I just spent another almost, well, it was over $800 is what I spent on it recently, which is 20% of what it's worth probably. Unfortunately, it just gotta be done. That stuff is a necessary evil. So yeah, hopefully I'll be rid of it. It'll be out of my life. I won't have to look at another Ford again. But that thing has a lot of new parts on it, so hopefully whoever gets it takes care of it and doesn't let things build up like the previous owner. The one before me, I had no idea how many things were going to go wrong with that. What a nice lawn slash field behind it. I was just thinking about doing maintenance on everything and having the right mentality just in general to make things work long term. I think a lot of people have a tendency to just push buttons. If the air conditioning is only keeping it 90 degrees and you have it set at 74, a lot of people would just set it at 65 and hope that it makes it up instead of troubleshooting the system. And that same mentality goes for like the vacuum. It goes for motorcycles in all forms. What made me think of this was I was pulling into that gas station back there, and I went to shift down into first gear, and it wouldn't go. It was like not wanting to go into first. And that happens every once in a while. If your engine speed isn't matched up with the transmission, it doesn't like to go into gear. And the solution is never to slam harder on the shifter. The solution is to probably come to a stop and then rock it back and forth, or if you're rolling, to bring up the RPM to match. But it's not to slam your foot down onto the shifter harder. I've always thought that you can pretty much tell how somebody treats everything by the way they treat their vacuum cleaner. All of pretty much everything in their life, including their car, their vehicles, like everything, you can see how they treat that stuff just by looking at their vacuum. Because most people are going to have hair and everything wrapped around the roller. They're going to have a clogged up filter. There's usually like 3 filters on different vacuum cleaners. A lot of people suck up stuff they're not supposed to, and it gets jammed into that thing, and then they just throw them away, or they end up in garage sales and stuff like that. If I really wanted to, I bet I could go to garage sales around here, buy everybody's vacuum, and have probably 99% of them up and running within 5 minutes. Vacuums really don't break normally. I mean, it takes a lot to make a vacuum break. For most people, they'll just throw it away, buy a new one, and for a lot of people, they will brutalize their cars in the same way. Like, they'll just set it to cruise. Like my truck the other day, I was driving it around on the freeway, and I was learning the power curve on that thing and figuring out where I need to keep it. And I figured out that I don't want to set the cruise at 80 when it's an incline at all, because it'll make it hard shift and rev the crap out of it. That's just hard on the clutch and the transmission. But how many people would even consider that? A lot of people, I think, would probably just set the cruise at 80, and despite what the truck is doing, they wouldn't really care. They just, oh, the truck's keeping it 80. It's just redlined, and it just slammed down 2 gears, but it's keeping us going. I think that a lot of people are hard on stuff. With vehicles, if you imagine 50 percentage lines that all start at 100%, and they all incrementally come down, some way faster than others. Some of those are going to be going to 0 at about 3,000 miles, like your engine oil. Even if you do a whole bunch of maintenance on your vehicle, like I just did to the Tundra, it's got some things on there that are still way down in percentage. So if I don't use the truck, if I'm not using it for what I need it for during that time, and I let somebody else use it, it'll come back to me at 0% on those maintenance items. So I'll have to not use it and then work on it for somebody else. And that sucks. This doesn't really pertain to people who have brand new vehicles and just, you know, buy a new one every year or every 2 years and just pay payments on them. That's not ideal for me. I choose not to do that. No judgment for people who do it, but I definitely don't want to do that. But on my F-150, most of its miles were used for a lot of work-related stuff that didn't pertain to me at all. I didn't have it for riding. Over 50% of the miles were used to run back and forth to Weezer, back and forth to Boise or Idaho Falls, and sometimes with big heavy loads on it. Now, any regular truck, that wouldn't be a problem, but that really used up my F-150, because all the percentage points that I just mentioned were close to 0, and all of them were hitting 0 at the same time. There was no maintenance done on it. And not only that, but it's a faulty design anyway, so I had like 20 different things that hit 0 on that percentage line, and I had to fix all of them. Monthly cost of ownership should be fairly low, maybe like $200 a month or something like that. And that's actually upgrading over time. Your vehicle is getting upgraded over time. F-150, its cost of ownership, though really high, it still doesn't come close to a new vehicle. I think cost of ownership was probably about $400 a month, $500 a month. And the percentage point lines that I'm talking about, they really do pertain to just about everything, even a vacuum cleaner. I mean, the vacuum cleaner's got far less of them. But, man, if you let somebody borrow your vehicle, they're going to gobble up at least one of those percentage lines to zero. And then when they give it back to you, you'll likely have to do something to it. Toyotas are really reliable. Like, there are some small cars where the percentage lines go way longer. Even they fail. I mean, shoot. I know people have spent $5,000 on their Toyota Prius to get it up and running. Here recently, actually. That's a lot of money. Sometimes big things do go wrong. But with my Toyota Prius, shoot, I've owned it for 4 years now, I think. 3 years. It's a manly Toyota Prius. It hasn't costed me more than a couple $100 at a time for repairs. I think doing your own maintenance is really, really fulfilling. It's fulfilling work. Like, it feels good when you take on a project yourself and get it done and then it's fixed. It feels really good. And I have decided that I am no longer paying a single mechanic ever. I'm doing all mechanic work myself. I can do everything Huford can do, for sure. The times when it really got fixed is when I just did a deep dive on it myself, to be honest. So, yeah, for now on, I think I've got to just do all vehicle stuff myself. I'll figure it out eventually. My F-150, I spent $12,000 to buy it, and I put another $9,000 into repairs at this point. So it's over $20,000, and I'm selling it for $6,500. Not a good investment. That's me ranting about taking care of your stuff. Don't let other people take care of it, because they won't do it for you. They will bash it and thrash it into oblivion. Anyways, guys, I'm just about home. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.